Alright guys, you might be wondering what I got the hood open for. Time has come. The time has come. You know what that means. Time to come. No, it's the time has came. Alright, so we're putting in hood vents today. Everybody knows these engine bays get ridiculously hot. And we're trying to help extract some of that heat. And then also, I feel like the car looks a little plain without it. You know, we got the wide body. I'm a big aero kind of guy. You know, I like, you know, you can look at my Focus, you can look at my Preludes, you can look at my cars. I like a real aggressive looking car. So we're gonna end up putting some hood vents in. We got some hood vents from our good buddies over at Trackspec Motorsports. Now what sucks is I've already talked to them. They don't make these for the Explorer. These are technically for the Ranger Raptor, which is even gayer. But I'm just kidding, I like your Ranger Raptor, guys. But we're gonna end up sticking them one here and one there. Obviously we're gonna measure. I'm not just gonna slap on. So this video might be a little bit longer, but it is nice because they send you these paper templates and that allows you to literally draw your marker lines so you know where to cut. And we can fit that. But what I'm going to do is, instead of doing this on the car out here in the sun, we're going to end up removing my hood completely, taking it in there to my fancy little stand that we can cut it up. Also, Milwaukee sponsored me because a lot of people are like, oh, you use a grinder for this? No, Dremel. A lot easier to control, a lot more accurate, also a lot more expensive for cutting tips. I like the Easy Lock ones. I forget the brand. I think it's Dremel that literally makes the Easy Lock ones, but they're nice. They're easy to put on, take off. I got 15 blades. Should be 5 per side and maybe 5 extras just in case we need them. I think I got a couple extras laying around. Roughly 40 bucks in just cutting blades. Not bad. And we're just gonna start. So we got to take off all these little tabs here. Get the sound deadening out, and then we'll go through and we'll remove our windshield washer line that runs conveniently under this. And when we put this back, we're probably not going to put this back because it's going to block some of the vents that we're going to want for the hood. So we're just going to completely take it out and remove it, get rid of it. Do some hood rat stuff. Afraid we're going to miss the ice cream man down the street. He's lurking down there. I know y'all can hear that. We're just waiting. So anyway, we got a little push tabs off, and you're gonna have a series of tabs that hold in this line. So we're just gonna go through it, and you got like a little trim tool like this. It makes it easy. Is he moving it?
No, he's not moving yet.
Boom. All right, we're gonna come down here to little washer nozzles. I want to say that these just push out like so.
He's moving in.
Oh fuck yeah! Okay, we gotta go. Ice cream time. All right, guys. Took a bomb pop break. Hell yeah! All right, guys. So after you get your series of tabs off, you're gonna have your 2 wiper things going all the way through here, right? I remember, like, Travis, how do I get that off? Well, Ford did think it gives these little push things. You see they're kind of ovaled here, up top here. I'm going to squeeze, and that should separate that and allow that to snake its way out of there. Same with this side. If you don't see what I'm talking about, see that oval piece? Oop. Okay, we lost this one down in here. It's just leaking. It's just squirting. All right. And bam. That easy, guys. Y'all might see my fancy Milwaukee Sharpie. Milwaukee, sponsor me. No. We're gonna go over here, and you want to try to keep your hood aligned, right? My hood opens and closes beautifully. So we're going to mark here, and we'll mark here. And basically you're gonna try to line these 2 stripes back up. When you go to mount your hood, I'm gonna do one more up here. You might be like, oh dude, you're drawing on your hood with Sharpie. You could just use some rubbing alcohol after it's all said and done to wipe it off. We'll make sure we get both sides. Make sure everything's lined up where we want it to be. Alright guys, 13 millimeter. We're gonna have 2 on each side, and basically we're just gonna have somebody to hold the hood. But I'm gonna go and do these bottom ones first. Pop these loose. Ready? Hold on this side. Hold this side up. Make sure it doesn't come back into the glass. Straight up off. Don't fall. Just to give us a nice wide footprint for the hood. So, ta-da! All done. That is isopropyl alcohol. We're trying to get all the waxes, any kind of dirt, grime off this, because we're going to lay down some painter's tape. And if you've never done this, I'm going to show you. Now, this is not my first time cutting the hood, but I am far from an expert. So take this video and my advice with a grain of salt. I have probably done this about 9 or 10 times. So I'd say I'm fairly skilled at it, but again, no expert, guys. I have some painter's tape, no matter, blue, white, black, green, gray, yellow, whatever painter's tape you have will work. And we're just going to go down a good bit of the hood. They're not all the way stamped through, so having like a little knife to help kind of run it along the line to like cut it, like a nice sharp knife, and cut out their template. And then we'll come over here once we measure everything, and we'll end up taping it in place. And then once it's taped in place, all these holes is where you go through, you'll mark it, and that's your section you're going to cut out, plus all the holes that you'll end up drilling, or at least these 2 corner holes to get the hood vent in place. And once the hood vent is in place, we can mark the other holes for the rivets. So a little time consuming, but worth it in the end to make sure that it's where you want it to be. All right, you good?
Nope.
Is the cameraman safe? Everyone knows the cameraman never dies.
Nope.
Stand in the chair. Stand in the chair. It's gonna be a lot better for you. Stand in the chair, Todd.
Oh, I'm getting a call.
So how I've kind of done this so far is I realized I want the vents kind of further up in the hood, and you can see right here where the hood rounds off and it gets this hard corner. I put the tape measure right at the edge of that and ran it straight across to meet the other one, right? And in doing so, that gives me my solid line going straight across the hood, which I marked down here. Now, up here it kind of gets a little curvy, so what I did is I put a piece of blue painter's tape here, went to the very corner, the edge of here, and I came down to where it says 12 inches, both sides. Then, again, had Tug hold it, we ran all the way across, drew our straight line. So now we kind of have a straight line here and there, kind of where our vents are going to be. That way we don't have one vent like this and another one right here. So we have our window of where we want our vent. Now, the difficult part is making sure that it is even on both of these. Now these vents, or these things in the hood, the natural kind of cowl of the hood, kind of opens up as it gets longer, right? And that's kind of how these vents do as well. These vents kind of open up from about 2.5 inches all the way up to about 3.5 inches. So they have about a 1-inch span going all the way up. Which is another reason I kind of picked these, because I know it's going to kind of flow with the style of hood, as this, again, these kind of naturally get skinnier. But I don't want them to be too far down the hood because that's going to look dumb. And I might want to eventually add hood latches, you know, further down the line, we'll see. Or send this off to get carbon fiber to make HSF carbon fiber hoods. Huh? Who's brought that life? I am. I love carbon fiber. Alright guys, so again, this is kind of the tricky part. What I'm going to end up doing is using this inner edge to the best of my ability, because that's pretty consistent no matter what. It does eventually kind of curve off, but it looks like it kind of curves off after this. So this is where, again, it gets a little tricky, but I can still use the edge of this, and that would allow me to come here and say we're happy with this placement, right? That's 13.5, let's move it to 13.5. Boom, right there, we can mark it. And then we'll come back here, we'll make sure that, again, it's kind of a curve up here, so we'll just kind of make sure we're in a similar ballpark. And basically, before we cut or anything, we'll make sure that both sides mirror themselves. Right, that's kind of where we want our vents, somewhere in this area. Pretty straight. We want it flowing with that natural curve going this way, right? Because you don't want it doing this, it's gonna look dumb. You don't want it doing that. Try to make that as straight as possible. Now this is a straight edge too. You can try to use it to eventually curve. So what we'll end up doing is making a working wedge. That's actually what we can do is go right off the edge there to the 2-inch mark. Right, we're kind of like right on the edge of that. Go off the line to a 2-inch mark. That way we know that this line is as straight as can be. And both of those lines connect. That way you can kind of line up your vent to be straight. We're going to go in from the 2-inch, another 2-inch mark right down here. And again, we're just going to draw our straight line. This is just, again, to get us a straight edge from that inner edge there. Boom. That should be even now because it's 2 inches from both sides, right? But again, we're going to verify by getting 3 different marks here and here. So if we're on our 2-inch mark line right here, this is where I know I'm going to confuse the fucking piss out of people, but this is what works for me, guys. Mathematician over here. So let's come down to where I marked that. Let's say 16, 11, and 6 roughly. Ooh, more coffee. Try to keep it even for everybody to know. Let's go 6, 11. What did I say, 16? Alright. So now we're going to measure from the edge. Look at that, we got to go in just a little bit to get it to the 14 mark. Oh, too much. I touched it. There, we are at 14 on the money. Then here we are at 14 and a half. Actually, I think we're a little off. So let me try to slide this inner corner in.
14.5 was over here.
Yeah, let me measure that one more time. Let's see. Also, hang on.
You want me to pause it?
No, you're good. 14 and a quarter. My dumb ass can't read a fucking tape measure. So 14.25, and then this one is 14.75. Okay, so it aggressively goes in as we get a little further out, guys. So here. Should be at 14 on money. I'm gonna move this side in just a little bit, like there. We're at 14.25. 14.25 and 14.75. Perfect. Now both sides are completely mirrored, which is great. That's what we're going for. I'm going to just gently slide this one down where the tip touches right here where I want it, just like that one is over there. These are really easy to move because they're paper. Let me measure it just for old time's sakes. 14, 14.25, and 14.75 on the money, guys. So let me just kind of hold it down and trace my corner in case this thing wants to kind of walk from me. Just get a little bit more electrical tape. Hold down the front corner. I'm out of tape.
That's painter's tape, by the way.
So I said tape.
You said electrical tape.
I said I'm out of tape.
No.
I'm out of tape. I'm out of tape.
Before you said get a little bit more electrical tape.
That's a little more tape. Maybe I said that. Whatever, dude. I didn't say it. You said it.
Rewind.
Milwaukee sponsor us. Milwaukee Big Fat Marker, large chisel tip. We've double checked everything. He says they're crooked. Maybe my eyes are crooked. Look good to me. Well, I double measured everything. We're close enough for me. I'm happy with the overall fitment. I believe in where we're going to be cutting. So now I'm going to come through with this chisel tip, and I'm literally just going to fill in all these voids of where this template is. Bam. There's the holes we got to cut. Bang. It's still a crooked. Hell yeah. So here are the blades I use. They're made by Dremel. They're for cutting metal. This is my favorite design because it is a quick lock, so it just twist off, twist on. Now with these, you don't push, you just let it guide itself. We got a good battery, got earplugs, we got safety glasses, we've got our Dremel, and let's get to it. Permanently altering our hoods to never be the same again. See, there is some layers of glue that are underneath it. Careful, edges are sharp. I'd recommend gloves if you have some. I grabbed it with a pair of pliers and was able to kind of just gently yank up. Now you can see there's actually webbing, kind of hood strength, right? Again, we're kind of fucking with the integrity of the hood by doing this in a way. But in order for these vents to fit, we're gonna have to cut this out as well. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hop onto this side. We're gonna go ahead and cut out this side, and then we're gonna flip it over. From the back side, you'll kind of be able to see where you have to cut in order for that vent to slide down in there. Once we cut it on the other side, we'll flip it back over to this side, test fit our vents, and make sure that they're fine. If we need to trim some more, also we will end up cleaning up a lot of these sharp edges here. All right, guys, so I have the hood flipped. It's a pretty easy one-man job once the hood's off. And what I did here is you can kind of see where the hole is here. I went about 1/8 of an inch. I'm just eyeballing it, right? And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make it pretty. So like when I cut a straight line here, right, I'm going around things like this. That way I don't have like weird jagged edges and stuff in here. And then I'll show you how to dress that up to keep sharp edges from hitting you, and like when you pop your hood to help it look a little bit better than just having like cut edges underneath the hood of your car. Anyway, so again, I'm gonna trim out the straight section. All right, guys. So you can actually kind of see where the hood seals off the top part, right? So I didn't want to cut any further back than that, so I'm kind of comfortable going here. I'll put a little seal. I'll show you how there's like some edge crap. So it's called edge trim, and that'll take away the sharp edges. It'll clean it up and won't look like that. The beautiful part about this hood, it's aluminum, so we don't have to worry about it rusting or anything of that nature. So, but again, the very least, I want to go through with a little sander bit, and we're going to clean up all the burrs and whatnot, so we don't get any stragglers, whatever it may be. And then we're going to blow the hood off real good, and we'll bring it back in here to drill some holes to put the hood vents in. All right, so the other side also had a square like this. So what I did is I kind of came up to the edge of the square, right? Because I want it to be one piece, right? Like, cause if you start cutting it, it's gonna have a bunch of weird angles. And so that's what I'm trying to be as straight as possible, make it look as good as possible. Because when you have your hood up, people are gonna be able to see. So you don't want to only look good when the hood's down, but if you have your hood popped and people are looking at all your goodies, they look up at your hood and like, ew, brother, what is that? You know, like, what does that mean? Ew, brother, ew. So, yeah. So we got the holes fully cut out, everything flipped back over. And what I went ahead and test fit the vents. The vents fit great. Now we went ahead and marked all our holes with the vent in there. Go and drill our holes out. That way we have a place to actually like rivet them in. And I am just using a 1/8 drill bit. 3/16 is 2 steps bigger. And we're just drilling some holes through here. Another thing you want to do is you want to take the rivets that they supply, test fit them in the holes, make sure that the holes that you drilled are big enough. You see that mine are slightly too small, some of them are a little bit big, so we'll kind of go through and kind of work the holes because it just needs to be a tad bit bigger, nothing crazy. I think going up in the size would just be a little bit too big, so I'm not going to go up an entire size. I'm just going to try to wall them out. But let me go through and get all these. Perfect. Now, I'm going to take off all of our tape that we put on the hood. So I'm starting with the corners, guys. The rest of it will kind of work its way down as we go around. And they came with like these little washers too. So I put on there, it kind of helps spread that force. Also, Milwaukee sponsoring Milwaukee rivet gun. Keep ignoring me. next day. Kind of ran out of film footage on my room, so I had to clear up some room on my phone. So we're gonna make this really quick. I went up to our local O'Reilly's. They have this like truck edge trim stuff, like the black stuff. And this is basically going to, it comes in like 8-foot sections, but it's going to go on to all our sharp pieces here. And careful when putting it on, because you're just basically slipping it on here, and it's going to cover all of our sharp edges around the vent. All right, guys, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Is, oh my goodness, hang on, I'm getting a lot of glare off the windshield. You can see one side is all the aluminum and whatnot. Next side, we got this smooth trim. That way, if you're ever under here and whatnot, you're not rubbing your hand. Now, you could add it here, right? But not really a reason to. I went up to the corner of where I cut. That's all factory stuff that normally that other stuff hides, but that doesn't bother me too much. And that's a really sharp bend to try to make. As you can see, the stuff can make some bends. This one's gonna be a little tricky to make because it kind of dips down right after it bends, but we'll get it to form that way. Also, what I'm going through is with a razor blade, I'm kind of cutting back the foam just a little bit, far enough so I can actually slip this on past some of the foam. That way we can just do one all the way up to about here. And it'll be the same on this side. You can see I already went and cut the foam back just a little bit and kind of glue whatever crap that they use to bond these two panels together. All right, and this side is done. Now I could probably try to come up a little bit more, but you can see the rivet actually pokes through both layers here and clamps them together. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Again, I'm overall a lot happier with that versus this. And there's no sharp edges if I'm ever working under here or something. You can see it was able to make a little weird corner down here. Now what I might doing is adding a little bit of glue, just make sure that it stays where it needs to. Just a dab of super glue in some of the corners. But other than that, it sticks pretty well by itself. We're gonna knock out that other side and we'll be all done. It's hot out here already, guys. Anyway, guys, hope this video helps. Hope y'all enjoy it. If you're not comfortable doing it, take it to a shop to get it done if you want hood vents. Overall, it's not hard though. It took me about 2 hours knowing what I'm doing, because I've done a couple of them. Again, I probably didn't do the correct way compared to other people or what a professional shop would, you know, but we're trying our best out here. I'm not a body guy by any means, never claimed to be, but we can do it. We can make sure everything's level, centered, perfect. Just measuring markings, cut once, you know. Again, you could always take more, never take less. Anyway, guys, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Hope this video is helpful. I'm super excited to hopefully get some of that hot air out of the engine bay in the Explorer. And again, if you want some vents, go ahead and go down to Trackspec Motorsport. They got their online website. This is their Ranger Raptor vents. I think they fit our hood really, really well. I like the overall look. Anyway, guys, love y'all, appreciate y'all, and until the next one.